What's up gamers, DreamcastGuy here, reviewing today Mortal Kombat X. This game really has a tough job on its hands. The name Mortal Kombat brings two things to most people's minds: fast combat and brutal fatalities, and lucky for us, both of these have really been taken to a whole new level in this new game. Taking place 25 years after the last game, the characters have changed up quite a bit, but the new fighters feel even better than the old. Most of our timeless favorites like Sub-Zero, Raiden, and Scorpion, along with many others, have made it onto the new 24-person roster. Even if your favorite fighter from an older game isn't here, you're probably going to fall in love with some of these new characters because they all have a huge variety of fighting styles. Combat has changed quite a bit from previous Mortal Kombat games and streamlined for the better. After choosing a character, you have the ability to choose one of 3 fighting styles. The style you choose determines your character's speciality during combat. Using weapons, tossing players around the stage, mastering ranged attacks, and more. This specialization really alters the core of how a character can play, basically tripling every character's playability. Think of them as interesting new fighting stances. You can have a character who normally is really heavy with punches and instead will now equip giant blades, making him feel completely different than he did before. Winning a match is more than just a few simple button presses away though, because while the concept is simple, actually beating these foes can be quite a bit of a challenge. Timing is everything. Short combos chained together with special moves can be fun, but the real joy comes from launching characters into the air and trying to land tough air combos for major damage. The bone-crunching joy of landing a powerful strike in slow motion is just as fun as it's always been, and seeing the X-ray of the damage is all the more entertaining. To break up the flow a bit, there's also these stage action spots. Standing in front of a statue and using the right attack may have you bashing an enemy's face into an ancient relic, or if you want to be really brutal, you might just be able to toss an old lady in the background. As a smart design choice, you can do this same mechanic to flip out of tight spots. If you get locked into the corner of the stage by pressing the action button, you'll now flip away and therefore gain some extra ground. Obviously, the fatalities that made this franchise so famous have all returned in their complete gory glory. Ripping out spines, melting faces, and gallons of blood geysering everywhere seem all the more fun in this entry. If you're a newcomer to the franchise, you can also unlock special functions called Easy Fatalities. This makes it where by simply playing one character over and over again, you can unlock one-button fatalities. As a new twist to keep fights personal, they've also introduced a new online faction system. When you first boot up the game, you now have the ability to choose one of 5 armies to swear your allegiance to. Every fight you win earns more faction points for your team and kept on the giant global scoreboard. Playing in any mode and getting kills will earn you faction experience and level you up. You can even choose to jump into giant worldwide battles and even try and take over and declare war against other clans directly. This is a great example of how having an always online world really works well. For those more interested in the story mode, you'll be happy to know that the war for Earth continues. This time the plot unfolds a lot like an old school kung fu movie, with bad one-liners, fast fights, and even a few quick-time events thrown in during cutscenes. This mode is far easier than past games, and I have a strong feeling that the game is actually programmed so every time you fail in an event, the enemies get a little bit weaker. I personally thought this was a good move overall, because previous games sometimes had impossibly difficult boss challenges that just really threw the whole game flow off. I know there are a select few people out there who enjoyed the fact that Mortal Kombat had famously difficult final fights, but this one, well, not so much. If you can beat the first boss, you can beat the last boss. On the graphics and sound side of things, this game is freaking stunning. 1080p and 60 frames a second is a term that's thrown around a lot lately, but when I was grinding this controller in my hands, trying to win a close match, and I could see every speck of blood and bones separate, I was incredibly impressed. I have to say the biggest downside of this game is the amount of day one DLC we're getting slapped with. Character packs, extra skins, and even the ability to buy quick fatalities right out of the gate. This just doesn't seem like a great idea. The thought that you just bought a $60 game and it has about $60 in additional content already on the disc seems a little bit warped. With all the design choices they made in this game though, I think this is probably the best Mortal Kombat so far. But we've heard some good, we've heard some bad, so let's head over to the ratings board and put a big number on it. I am giving Mortal Kombat X an 8.5 out of 10. This is an extremely fun fighting game, and it's even more fun with friends. The Day 1 DLC is a bit crazy, but the core game is so addicting that it's easy to overlook, and I'm confident that the new cast of characters I'm sure they'll be adding in with DLC later is going to probably enrich it even more. Thanks so much for watching, gamers. This has been DreamcastGuy. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up since it helps me out a lot. If this is your first time watching, please subscribe. Do me the biggest favor of all though, and keep dreaming. Thanks so much for watching. If you liked this video, maybe check out my last video. Please subscribe, and if you want, share this somewhere with your friends.